Law 24. Play the perfect courtier is about mastering the subtle art of influence and manipulation in hierarchical environments. The courtier, historically a figure in royal courts, was someone who operated behind the scenes, navigating the complex dynamics of power, status, and favor with tact, diplomacy, and finesse. In the modern world, this role is reflected in anyone who must work within a power structure, whether in business, politics, or social environments. Playing the perfect courtier involves understanding how to advance in these environments without causing friction or openly challenging authority. It's about making yourself indispensable, manipulating appearances, and shaping outcomes while maintaining the guise of loyalty and service. At the core of this law is the understanding that power is rarely attained or maintained through brute force alone. The perfect courtier knows that subtlety and discretion are often more effective than overt displays of ambition. This requires emotional intelligence, charm, and the ability to read people and situations carefully. By mastering these skills, you can influence the people in power to see you as an asset rather than as a threat, allowing you to rise through the ranks without ever appearing to seek power openly. One of the key principles of being the perfect courtier is the ability to adapt to the personalities and moods of those above you. Every leader or person in a position of authority has their own insecurities, desires, and weaknesses. The perfect courtier learns to sense these traits and to play to them. If your superior is egotistical, you flatter them subtly without appearing sycophantic. If they are insecure, you offer quiet reassurances, making yourself a calming presence. If they are indecisive, you subtly guide them toward the decision you want them to make, always letting them feel as though the choice was their own. This skill and adaptability also means knowing when to step forward and when to remain in the background. The perfect courtier never outshines their superiors, as stated in Law 1, and knows that their role is to enhance the power and prestige of those they serve. However, this does not mean that the courtier is without ambition. Rather, their ambition is carefully concealed beneath layers of humility, service, and apparent loyalty. By making those in power feel more secure and successful, the courtier ensures their own advancement. Manipulating appearances is another essential skill for the perfect courtier. Power, especially in hierarchical environments, is as much about perception as it is about reality. The courtier knows that by controlling how others see them, they can shape outcomes to their advantage. This means always being mindful of how you are perceived, whether in casual conversation, formal meetings, or public appearances. The perfect courtier cultivates an air of grace, reliability, and discretion, ensuring that others see them as indispensable to the functioning of the court or organization. One of the more delicate aspects of this law is the ability to cultivate alliances while avoiding open factions. The perfect courtier understands that power structures are often filled with rivalries, competing interests, and shifting allegiances. Navigating these treacherous waters requires forming quiet alliances where mutual interests align, but never attaching yourself too firmly to any one faction or individual. This allows you to maintain flexibility and avoid being dragged down by the downfall of any single group or person. The courtier is loyal only to themselves and their long-term goals, even if outwardly they seem loyal to those in power. The perfect courtier also masters the art of timing. Knowing when to speak, when to remain silent, when to push for a favor, and when to pull back is crucial. This requires patience, observation, and a keen sense of timing. The courtier never rushes into action. Instead, they wait for the opportune moment when circumstances align in their favor, striking when the time is right to maximize the impact of their actions. This sense of timing is what separates the skilled courtier from the clumsy manipulator who overplays their hand. In terms of communication, the perfect courtier is a master of subtlety. They know that direct confrontation or aggressive tactics rarely work in environments where power is fluid and status can shift quickly. Instead, they use indirect methods, hinting at what they want, planting ideas in the minds of others, or making suggestions that seem to originate from the person in power. This allows the courtier to influence outcomes without ever appearing to be manipulative. In essence, the perfect courtier makes people believe that they are acting of their own accord, when in fact, they are being guided by the courtier's invisible hand. Another critical skill of the perfect courtier is maintaining an appearance of neutrality and decorum, especially in conflicts. Power struggles are inevitable in hierarchical systems, but the courtier avoids getting caught up in them. They remain above petty rivalries, appearing to be focused solely on their duties and the well-being of the court or organization. This gives them the reputation of being trustworthy and impartial, which allows them to gain the confidence of multiple parties. By staying out of direct conflict, the courtier can influence both sides and emerge unscathed, regardless of the outcome. Moreover, the courtier knows that in any environment where power is concentrated, envy and resentment are constant threats. As such, they are careful not to attract too much attention to their own successes or ambitions. By appearing self-effacing and deferential, they avoid provoking the envy of others, which can lead to sabotage or opposition. The courtier moves through the ranks quietly, never making bold or public moves that could invite scrutiny or retaliation. This is not about being timid, but about being strategically invisible when necessary, allowing others to underestimate you while you consolidate your power. Another subtle yet powerful aspect of the courtier's strategy is the ability to act as a buffer between different factions or individuals. In environments where tension or conflict is present, the courtier can position themselves as a mediator or diplomat, smoothing over disagreements and calming tempers. This not only increases their value to those in power, but also allows them to play both sides against each other, all while appearing to be a force for peace and stability. In this way, the courtier gains influence by positioning themselves as an indispensable peacemaker. Lastly, the perfect courtier is always aware of the long game. Unlike the impatient climbers who seek immediate recognition or rewards, the courtier knows that power is built gradually through a series of small, strategic moves. They are willing to wait for years if necessary, biding their time, quietly building alliances, and influencing key players until the moment is right for them to step into a more prominent role. By the time they rise to the top, they have already laid the groundwork for long-term success, ensuring that their ascent is both smooth and sustainable. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier is ultimately about mastering the subtleties of power dynamics. It teaches that in any hierarchical system, overt displays of ambition or aggression are less effective than a careful, calculated approach. The perfect courtier advances through patience, charm, adaptability, and strategic invisibility, manipulating those in power without ever appearing to do so. By mastering this law, you ensure that you can rise through the ranks without ever becoming a direct target or threat, positioning yourself as indispensable to those who hold the keys to power.